Strangler case. The Strangler case is about the series of sexual assaults, murders of women that took place in the Boston. Between 1962 and 1964, Boston was gripped by fear as a series of brutal murders of women took place. In total, 13 women aged between 1985 to 85 were found strangled, many in their own apartments. Later then, the media soon labeled the killer as the Boston Strangler. If I talk about the duration of the case from June 6, 1962 to January 1964, and victims, there were 13 women. Firstly, the targets was the elder women and delivery man or a mental ahead to the timelines and the investigation. In 1962, the initial attack started, targeting the elderly woman and patterned one scene of the home invasion and the strangulation. By 1963, the frequency of case increased, and this time targeting the young woman. Now, the police force started to connect the crimes because of the similarity in the modus operandi. 1964, the last known murder. In January 1964, the murder of Mary Sylvan took place. She was the final victim. After the murder of Mary Sylvan, the text suddenly stopped. The case took a major turn in October 1964 when Albert DeSalvo, a man already in custody for unrelated sexual assault cases, confessed to being the Boston Strangler. DeSalvo's confession was highly detailed, and he knew the facts only the killer could know. However, there was a major problem that no physical evidence ever connected him to the murders. Now, moving to the challenges and the investigation. The investigation was hampered early on by the jurisdictional conflicts across different police departments in the Boston area. Recognizing the scope of the threat and invested, multiple jurisdictional task force was eventually established, but it struggled to maintain the coordinations and the shared information effectively. Now, if I talk about the challenges, first, lack of modern forensic technology like DNA analysis, disorganized record keeping across multiple police departments, and a focus on sensational aspects rather than the pure evidence gathering. Moving toward the primary suspect of our case, that is the Albert DeSalvo. Albert DeSalvo, a construction worker and a former army serviceman, became the primary suspect following his confession while incarcerated for non related sexual assaults known as the Green Man attacks. And if I talk about his confession includes the precise details which only a criminal could know. Moving ahead to the key methods in the 1960s, we have the methods like forensic fingerprinting, fiber analysis. So, attempts were made to match the evidence or the samples from the crime scene, such as fingerprint impressions, hair, and fiber, but it provided a circumstantial connection, but did get any conclusive proof. Now, I would like to hand over the discussion to the Anshita for discussing further like forensic aspects and all. Anshita?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity. I would like to introduce myself. I am Anchita Batre, Deputy Secretary of Academic Team of Budding Forensics Club, and would like to take over from here to talk about different forensic aspects from the case perspective. For years, the identity of the killer remained a mystery until forensic science pieced together what time and fear has erased. This is the story of how multiple branches of forensic science, physics, biology, pathology, psychology, and engineering united to uncover the truth behind the Boston Strangler. First of all, forensic physics, the science of evidence. Forensic experts analyzing fibers under microscopes and various physical evidences. In the early 1960s, before DNA testing existed, forensic physics was at the forefront of the investigation. Every stocking belt and scarf used for strangulation became a source of physical evidence. The evidence types which were analyzed in this were fiber and material analysis. Experts applied principles of light scattering, refractive index, and textile strength to examine nylon ligatures. Microscopic fiber comparison revealed the several ligatures that shared identical material composition and structure, linking different crime scenes. This was one of the first demonstration of trace material correlation in serial murder cases. Second was strangulation force estimation. By analyzing the depth and width of ligature marks, forensic physicists estimated that the pressure applied was roughly 3.5 to 5 kilograms, enough to block blood flow to the brain. This helped distinguish manual from ligature strangulation, reconstructing how victims were subdued. Next was crime scene reconstruction. Using mechanics and motion dynamics, investigators studied overturned furniture, drag marks, and impact sites. This reconstruction indicated struggle sequences and suggested that most attacks occurred indoors, often with the killer approaching the victims from behind. Optical and photographic physics was also of use here. Infrared and ultraviolet photography revealed hidden bruising and body fluids invisible to the naked eyes. This technique later confirmed physical contact patterns with DeSalvo's confession. Second branch was forensic biology and DNA. DNA double helix and lab sequence from 2013 forensic re-examination. At the time of the murders, DNA analysis didn't exist, but biological evidences was carefully preserved. Half a century later, those samples gave science a new voice. In 2013, forensic scientists extracted biological material from the body of Mary Sullivan, the last known victim. Through modern DNA profiling, they matched the sample of Albert DeSalvo's nephew, confirming his genetic lineage. But what made this discovery possible was physics based preservation, maintaining evidence under controlled light, temperature, and humidity. Even after 50 years, the molecular integrity of DNA remained intact, bridging a gap of generations and confirming the Salvo's connection beyond doubt. Forensic pathology also forensic pathology also plays its important role here. Pathologists examined each victim meticulously. Their neck bore horizontal, continuous furrows, typical of ligature strangulation. In some cases, the marks sorry, in some cases the marks showed textile imprints matching stockings or cords used in the murders. Key observations which were made here were ligature marks, petechial hemorrhage, internal injuries. Ligature marks were deep, uniform, often below the thyroid cartilage, confirming homicidal strangulation. Petechial hemorrhage, tiny red spots in the eyes and skin, proving that victims were alive when strangled. Internal injuries were fractured hyoid bones and tissue hemorrhage, confirmed the forceful nature of death. Some victims also displayed dual mechanisms, both manual and ligature strangulation, showing escalation in violence and control, crucial in linking behavioral patterns to the killer's psychological profile. Where next our branch is forensic psychology. Behavioral scientists studied the killer's patterns through his modus operandi and signature behavior, which is very important for the case. DeSalvo's victims were primarily women living alone, and the use of ligatures tied into bow indicated ritualistic control and precision. Psychologists inferred that the killer was organized, methodical, and manipulative, someone who gained trust easily. Someone who gained trust easily. This aligned with Di Salvo's real life persona, a man who posed as a repairman or serviceman, the measuring man, he was named to enter victims' home. The consistency of knot patterns, the absence of forced entry, and the calculated pressure applied at all pointed to a killer who derived psychological satisfaction from dominance rather than chaos. Also, forensic engineering and tool mark analysis was conducted here, and it also played an important role to this case. Many crime scenes showed no signs of forced entry, which was a mystery for years. Later, forensic engineers revisited these details using metal stress analysis and chalk microscopy. For example, I would like to explain. Under electron microscopes, they discovered micro scratches and stress distortion consistent with lock picking tools. This indicated mechanical manipulation, confirming the killer's ability to enter quietly and efficiently. This interdisciplinary approach between engineering physics and forensic material science revealed a previously unseen layer of sophistication in DeSalvo's method. Crimes in reconstruction and digital reanalysis, which was done using 3D methods, 3D digital methods, and reconstruction of apartment. Decades after the crimes, forensic physicists used photogrammetry and 3D scanning and 3D scanning to digitally reconstruct the original scenes from archived photographs. By analyzing shadow angles, light reflection, and object displacement, they recreated how victims were positioned and how struggle unfolded. This reconstruction aligned with DeSalvo's confession, validating his statement with measurable physics based proof. Forensic photometry even helped estimate time of crime using shadow analysis and natural light decay from old photographs. Also, fluid dynamics and blood pattern analysis was also performed here. Even though strangulation often leaves minimal external bleeding, blood pattern analysis proved crucial context. By applying fluid dynamics, experts analyzed direction, velocity, and distribution of spatter in certain scenes, revealing whether victims were attacked standing, sitting, or post mortem. This helped verify whether confessions were consistent with real physical events, strengthening the forensic correlation. Forensic radiology and modern imaging also played its important role as CT scans of preserved tissue samples was performed. Modern forensic teams used CT scans and digital X-ray imaging to re-examine autopsy materials. These methods revealed microfractures in the hyoid bone and internal neck tissues, injuries not detectable with 1960s technology. This confirmed consistent force application across victims and validated the uniformity of DeSalvo's killing method. Using statistical physics and pattern recognition, forensic data scientists mathematically compared ligature marks, knot angles, and wound geometry here. Entropy based clustering showed remarkable similarity among all 13 cases, scientifically linking them to a single offender. So these were the scientific aspects from the forensic perspective and how they played important role in solving the crime which was pending for so long. This case also denotes and proves the scope of forensic science and criminal investigation. In 2013, a combination of DNA profiling, trace physics, and pattern analysis provided definitive closure. Albert DiSalvo was confirmed as the Boston Strangler, not just by confession but by irrefutable scientific proof. The Boston Strangler case now stands as a milestone in forensic history, showing how physics, biology, psychology, pathology, and engineering converge to uncover truth when human memory fails. By this, I would like to end the discussion here, which will be followed by the quiz.
Thank you, Anshita, and thank you everyone for actively listening. Now, move ahead to the quiz. It's quiz time. Now, the first question will be Anshita. Which method was later used to confirm the Salvo's connection to at least one murder decades later? And the options are fingerprint analysis, blood group tests, DNA analysis, and casting methods. You all can type the answer in the chat box. Each question will have the 15 to 20 seconds, and then we will move ahead to the second question. Great. The correct answer is DNA analysis. Now, second question is why was there controversy surrounding the Albert DiSalvo's confession? So the options are lack of physical evidences, multiple inconsistent statements, possibility of false confession, or all of the above. Yes, the correct answer is all of the above. Now, third question is what investigative mistake made the case more complicated? Poor evidence preservation, miscommunication within the departments, media interference, or all of the above. The correct option is all of the above. But Parithi ma'am has answered poor evidence preservation. It can also be, but as I have mentioned previously, there was miscommunication between the departments and media interference too. Because of the media, the case hype. Right? Okay, move on to the next. During autopsy, which is a strong indicator of strangulation death, lung failure, fractured hyoid bone, liver bruising, or heart failure. Yes, the correct option is the fractured hyoid bone. Now, our last question is what was the common method of killing used by the Boston Strangler? Poisoning, shooting, stabbing, or strangulation? Yes, the correct answer is strangulation. Here, I conclude this case study session and thank you everyone for actively listening and participating. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, actually, I'm having one question. Can I discuss? Uh, yeah. My question was regarding the accused of the Boston Strangler, DeSalvo. Why he was killing the women? Like, what was his background? And I mean, was he suffering from any kind of mental disorder or any trauma? But what was compelling him to commit the crimes? What was the reason why he was committing?
Hi, Aditya. I would like to answer that question. Uh, I think I have not mentioned it in the presentation. अगर हम हिस्ट्री की बात करते हैं अल्बर्ट डिसाल्वो की, तो लाइक उसको कुछ ट्रॉमा था, उसके जो चाइल्डहुड से उसको एक ट्रॉमा था, तो उसने उसके पेरेंट्स को मतलब उनके जो ट्विनिंग उनकी जो इक्वेशन थी वो सही नहीं था, तो वो उससे ट्रॉमा था उसे, उसने उसको स्ट्रगल करते देखा था। और देन उसके बाद उसने स्टार्ट किया था उसका ये जो क्रिमिनल जो माइंडसेट था उसका, उसने वाई जो बोल सकते हैं हम स्टीलिंग और लाइक थीफ एज अ थीफ उसने स्टार्ट किया था। देन आगे उसकी जब उसकी जो वाइफ होती है उसके साथ उसकी इक्वेशन प्रॉपर सही नहीं होती है, उसका माइंडसेट एक अलग रहता है। जैसे कि मेंशन किया था अंशिता ने, उसका लाइक बिहेवियर जो था वो सही नहीं था, लाइक और मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी जो उसकी वाइफ के साथ उसकी इक्वेशन थी उसमें मतलब एक अलग सेक्स ड्राइव जो थी उसकी बहुत अलग थी, और मतलब वो बोल सकते हैं, वर्ड मुझे नहीं आ रहा है उसके समझाने के लिए। कैन एनीवन प्लीज हेल्प मी आउट
He was a
उसके।
sexually deviant person.
यस।
And I would like to add, before becoming a serial killer, as he was accused of, he was also a accused and convicted rapist. And he did the same methodology of being a handyman, wearing green clothes. So he was called the Green Man Rapist. And he would enter women's apartments and then act like he has come to help them with tasks and then rape them. So he was also accused of many rapes before become like between or before becoming a serial killer. So he had three timelines. He was a rapist, he was a thief, and then he was also a serial killer.
यस, थैंक यू एना।
Okay, thank you so much.
And yes, ma'am, I would like because of this sensationalization, these people have become famous personalities, and there are people who actually want to be like them, fall in love with them, and there are many serial killers who got married in jail, in prison, after they were convicted of being a serial killer. So the sensationalization of the crime is a huge part of the media, which not only makes the media circus, it also plays with the psyche of many people, and like motivates them kind of to become infamous. No, ma'am. It should not be. Some details should be, yeah, ma'am. Some details should be kept like to the police only. And this will also include um, this will also increase the rise of false confessions. Heinous crimes. Mm, yeah. I'm all,
Uh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I would like to add on that note. Nowadays, many criminals are caught, and they when they confess, they say that they get inspired by the many criminal stories and documentaries and the shows which are going on the TV. For example, the documentaries of very criminal cases and some TV serials on crime based serials. They get inspired by that and they know the technique how to commit a crime, and they do that same technique to in real life also. So they get inspired with that. So it is a worrying sign. Uh, yes, ma'am. Actually, the media and the entertainment industry, they I don't know why they focus mainly on the criminal aspect. They should be focusing on the victim too, and from now onwards, they should be releasing such stories where the victim should be highlighted rather than the criminal. But nowadays we see that the criminals are being highlighted and they are being on the spotlight most often the time. So that's not a good sign. So the victim should be highlighted more.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I truly agree with your point and Aditya as well and Ina as well. And the main point I want to point out from this whole slide was that there was this beautiful slide where Anshita showed that from 1960s, from that time to present time, we have so many technological tools that we have developed in forensic findings and everything, but still we couldn't lower the the number of cases that are happening, they're still increasing. So I think from where we are wrong. So this is not that we don't need to catch the I guess perpetrator, but we need to do some help to the perpetrator. So where is the society going wrong? If we can help the person with his whatever the trauma he is going with, I don't think so. I'm This is very really rude, as I am a person from Budding Forensic Club and I'm a forensic student, that we would never need this kind of field of forensic field if we could do a better criminal assessment and psychological profile at a very I can say previous age. So there will be no any heinous crime of this level, I guess. Sorry, ma'am, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, that,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, actually. Yeah, we are still unable to help society growing over these type of encounters or something like that. Yes. Mm.
Ma'am, can I add something more? Ma'am, as Paridhi ma'am said about early intervention strategies, I would like to add that the Boston Strangler accused, like Albert DeSalvo, he was actually previously convicted of two crimes, like two types of crimes. So, if the legal system or the society had intervened, it may have been possible to save the lives of all the 13 women, because he was already convicted of rape and he was already a petty thief since like adolescence. So he was already showing signs of crime since early life. But still, because of no intervention strategies or not proper care, He had the time to grow up and become the killer he became. And moreover, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, as you asked about a similar case, there is a similar case, the Green River Killer. He also used strangulation, but he like disposed of the bodies near rivers, so he was called the, I guess, Green River Killer, most probably. Yeah, ma'am. He killed 71 women. Like he confessed to killing 71 women.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
surely.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.